All right, so real talk between you and I, real quick. Of all the bruschetta videos I've ever made, I keep getting the same annoying question, which is, why do you call it bruschetta? Well, because, Captain Obvious, I was born in the great old land of Italia, and that is what you call it. You call it bruschetta. But hey, if you want to call it bruschetta, by all means, call it bruschetta. Nobody cares, as long as it's delicious. But how about you leave me alone, my gorgiata alone? If you want to call it bruschetta, or ricotta, or spaghetti, let me live. Let me live. It's the same thing. Ricotta, ricotta. Spaghetti, spaghetti. Bruschetta, bruschetta. It's fine. It's good. Just eat it. Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to show you an updated version of my bruschetta or bruschetta, whichever you want, and my roasted pepper recipe. Now, I asked you on Instagram a couple weeks ago, I was thinking about, doing not a series, but like starting to share updated versions of recipes that I've shared with you many moons ago. And because as I've changed a lot of the recipes, I do things a lot differently now than I did years ago, and I had an overwhelming, exciting response saying how much you were going to enjoy the updated versions, and so I'm going to start with the very first, which was the very first video I ever made, which was bruschetta, or bruschetta, whatever you call it, and also roasted peppers, because I don't really ever make one without the other, and since summer weather, spring weather, whatever you want to call it, I'm pretty sure is officially here. You'll be seeing these a lot on my Instagram if you follow me, so it'll be a great way for me to just send you to the recipe and you can make this exact version because it's a staple. We can't live without it. Let me sort of run you through what I've got here. I've got garlic, I've got these beautiful, sweet, deliciously plump tomatoes. I've got an array of bell peppers, lots of basil. I've got some capers that I have rinsed, oregano, extra virgin olive oil, a little red wine vinegar, and I've got a little bit of salt. You also need some bread, of course, and that's really it. But these are the best. This is the best combo, and it's the best bruschetta and the best roasted pepper recipe in the history of ever. For roasting the peppers, I put mine right on my gas burner. If you don't have a gas burner, what you want to do is you want to cut them in half lengthwise, put them cut side down on a baking sheet and pop them under the broiler to really char the skin. I do this right on my gas burner, but like I said, if you don't have a gas burner, you're going to want to do it. You're going to have to do this sort of however it fits on your stove. I kind of move them around like that. And you're looking for them they'll start to pop. And you're looking for them to get really charred all around. And I'll show you what they look like when they're there. Because these burners are a little bit big, I have to kind of maneuver them around. But my regular stove back there fits 3 of them perfectly. But once you see them like that, but all over, that's when you'll know you're ready to flip. And then once they're all blackened, I'm going to put them in a bowl and I'll show you what they look like when they are there. Peppers are hot. Put a lid on, let them steam 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, however long it takes for them to just not be so hot so you can peel them. So I do that so that way I don't have to cover them with plastic wrap and waste anything. I just put a lid on top of the bowl. It's good to go. Let's work on the tomatoes. Now, you can use any tomato you want for this. I really love these little vine-ripe tomatoes here. They are so sweet and they are so fantastic. We love them. Plum tomatoes, really sweet, beautiful Jersey plum tomatoes would be really good here as well. What you need to do though is you cut the tomato in half. There's a lot of seeds, a lot of water. So I just kind of squeeze that out because I don't want that in my final dish because I want the juice of the tomato to mix with the olive oil, but I don't want the excess water and seeds. So I just sort of squeeze them out and it makes a big difference. So take a few minutes to do that and then we're going to chop them all really nicely and it's going to be so delicious. Got all my tomatoes diced. Now I took a clove of garlic. It was really big and I just sort of smashed it. And I'm not even going to cut it because I want the garlic flavor to infuse, but I don't actually want any small pieces of garlic running through it because that's just the way we've been wanting it and delicious, and I just love that. It's a little bit more mild. Then you take about a tablespoon of capers, and now I make sure that I rinse them really well under cold water to get rid of as much of that like vinegary taste as possible. But the capers here add a lovely salt note to this, but in a little bit of a different way. Like you don't really bite on a big piece of caper and you take away caper flavor, but everything together just sort of blends into the most delicious combination ever. But you just want to make sure that you chop the capers really, really well, because you want it to kind of mix throughout the whole thing. And that's what makes them so delicious. And the first time I had this was when I went to Tuscany last year, and somebody made bruschetta like this with the capers in it, and it was a game changer, and I've been making it this way ever since, and I don't think I will ever change, because I'm just too in love with the flavor combination. So, and then I just take basil and I just run my knife down and just sort of slice it and give it a chop, just so that it blends with everything. Add that right in. A good pinch of oregano, and sort of pinch it between your fingers as you add that in, just to break up the leaves and to really expose the oils. Pinch of salt and really good quality extra virgin olive oil. Good amount of that. Take a spoon, give all of that a really good stir, and this is going to just sit aside, and the flavors will meld and be absolutely divine. And when you top this on some charred bread, it is absolutely life-changing. This is done and needs to set aside so that the flavors can meld. I'm gonna go get a bowl of water. You heard that right. And I'm gonna be back here so we can start cleaning the peppers. I'm going to take the other half of the clove of garlic, because it was pretty big, and I'm going to add that to this bowl. I'm not even cleaning my counter because all the same flavors are going to go in it. So before I move on to the peppers, which is going to be a messy job, but I have to walk you through it because it is important. I'm going to take another small bunch of basil. Basil looking sad, but it's fine. Pretty soon it'll be growing from the garden and it'll be so pretty and happy. And I'm going to chop together the basil with a little bit more of the capers. I am telling you, this is the way to make roasted peppers and bruschetta, because it just is the most incredible combination. And spring and summer is here. Most likely there will not be a single week going forward until the fall on my Instagram where you won't see this, one of these or both of them, because I know a lot of you follow me on there and you see what I eat day to day, and it's just, I love it, and I love that you follow me for that. And I appreciate it, and if you don't, then you're missing on the party. Okay, so in this bowl, I'm gonna add same suspects. All right, but here you're also gonna add a splash of vinegar. Okay, a couple teaspoons, not a lot. Amazing. Let's talk peppers. If I catch you taking this pepper and running it through the faucet, running it through water, I will come over there with my absolute favorite weapon, which is the wooden spoon, and I'll show you a thing or two about a thing or two. You're washing away all the phenomenal flavor. Now you're asking, yeah, but the stuff on there sticks and it's a mess. So here's what you do. You have a bowl of water. This is the bowl I had the peppers in. Okay? You wet your hands to get rid of the skin. You never, ever wet the pepper. You don't want to rinse the pepper because you'll be washing off all of that charred flavor that you worked so hard to create. So you just take your hands, wet it in the water, and patiently take off as much as you can, and then a lot of the rest you take off with your knife, which I will show you in just a minute. You can do this on the outdoor grill, even on your char grill, on your gas grill, whatever you got. It's worth it. I know it's a step extra, and I know you can buy roasted peppers in a jar. Been there, done that. But if you want roasted peppers for your antipasti, you have to roast your own. Nothing else needs to be said. You have to roast your own. So you see, we took off most of it, right? I'll take the rest of it off in a minute and I'll show you, right? Set that aside and move on to the next one. Look at that. Comes right off. Cut your peppers lengthwise. Take away just the core. And then if you've got anything left over that you don't want, I like a little bit of the brown, a little bit of the charred, because it adds flavor. I would never wash that off. If there's like bigger pieces, like maybe that one right there, peel it right off. But you can also have your knife kind of help you peel that off, but you never want to wash it off. So, and I always slice the peppers from the inside so that your knife doesn't slip, because the outside is quite slippery. But if you do it this way, then your knife doesn't slip. See that? You add those right in. So yeah, you just use your knife to help you take off any bits and pieces that you don't want. But I'm just gonna go ahead, slice the rest of these. I'll slice some bread so we can toast it. Then we eat. Favorite time of day. And it's beautiful outside, which means once we're done wrapping this once we're done wrapping this episode, we'll be eating this outside. I have some ciabatta here that I'm toasting on my bruschetta pan. I get a ton of questions about where you can get this pan. This pan gives you the most delicious char grilled flavor on your bread. It's mainly for bread. It's not for anything else. You can find them online, but if you live in the Philadelphia, South Jersey area, go to Fonte's Kitchen in South Philly. They will have these. I've purchased backups of these. I brought these to Italy, to my Nonna's house, because I love this so much. It's thin, it's easy. So if you live around here, go to Fonte's and they'll have them for you. And they're really inexpensive too, but it makes for the best bread for this type of thing, and it cooks up really, really fast. So just put your bread on there. This is about to come off. Keep an eye to my roasted peppers. I'm just gonna add a good drizzle or two of extra virgin. And I'm also going to add a good pinch of salt. Give these a really good stir. And I'm going to pop them into the bowls along with the tomatoes, because I like the bread to be toasted and kept on the board for people to make their own bruschetta, whatever you want to call it, so the bread doesn't get soggy. So I'm going to do this, and then we have a taste. What you can do too, as soon as the bread comes off the grill, cut a piece of garlic in half, rub that on there, skin and everything. And it warms up that garlic, and you've got the most insane flavor ever. You can already smell it. It's just incredible. Listen, I've been waiting a long time. I've been waiting a long time for this. You know? You know, I want to tell you something. I do, but hold on. You know, I love my foods. I do. I love my foods. I love them all. If this on the table tonight, outside, a little Parmigiano Reggiano, what is it? A little Parmigiano Reggiano, a little salami, a little prosciutto. This is going to be our dinner tonight. And I know that you wish you were invited. If you live next door, you would be. But you can make this, have your own outdoor backyard party, whatever you want to have it. It's the best. I just love spring and summer for this type of food. These are staples in our household. This is how I made them for a long time now, and this is our updated version. I don't think it's going to change for a very long time, if ever. LauraInTheKitchen.com for the written recipe. You just need to make it. You just do. So you can feel the vibe with me. I'll see you next time. Bye.